superhero.
A castaway develops a strange relationship with a giant reptile in this beautiful-looking, critically acclaimed animated feature. Directed by European artist Michael Dudek DeWitt with a little help from Japan's Studio Ghibli. Stranded on a beautiful but hostile island, the hero relies on his wits, his guts, and the help of a mysterious sea creature, in an exciting, wondrous fantasy adventure told almost completely without dialogue. It's a must for cartoon buffs, Ghibli heads, fans of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, and anyone who likes pretty pictures and elemental tales of survival. NM. It's nightmarish enough to be kidnapped and held in a basement against your will, when the man who has abducted you happens to have 23 separate personalities. Ranging from a prepubescent to something called the Beast, you have officially entered the seventh circle of horror movie hell. Say what you will about the ups and downs of M. Night Shyamalan's career and output, the director and his star James McAvoy have taken an intriguing premise for a thriller and run with it straight into some genuine WTF territory. Jessica Sula, TV's Skins, Haley Lou Richardson, The Edge of 17, and rising scream queen Anya Taylor-Joy, the witch, make up the trio of young women who have to find a way out of the madman's clutches. DF. The title refers obliquely to Death of a Salesman, the play that the movie's husband and wife thespians are performing in Tehran. What you're really being sold here, however, is a template for how a story of life, art, fate, violence, vengeance, and the choices you make after a tragedy can be transformed into a profound work of art. The latest movie from master Iranian filmmaker Asghar Farhadi, A Separation, sets up its premise. A woman is assaulted and her spouse is determined to find out who the mystery assailant is, and then starts slowly turning the thumb screws. But the director never forgets that he's telling a moral tale here, and that every action has its equal, opposite reaction. Do not let this one slip away. DF. If you're only going to plunk down cash for one Polish horror fantasy musical about love-struck teenage mermaids in 2017, make it this one. Director Agnieszka Smaczynska's cracked fable takes an age-old story, girl meets boy, girl is part fish. Girl forgets she sometimes has to devour human flesh per ancient mythology, and turns into a delirious riot involving pop-punk sing-alongs, perversity, plenty of 1980s Eastern European nostalgia, and pure adrenaline. We dare NBC to do a live Broadway-style broadcast of this. You have never really seen anything like this. No, really. DF. An unfinished James Baldwin book becomes a searing look at modern American race relations in Raoul Peck's provocative, no-holds-barred documentary. Samuel L. Jackson gives voice to the late author's essays and letters, sharing ruminations on the deaths of Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King, as well as articulating the alienation of African Americans living in a country that often seems unwelcoming. Footage from the 60s civil rights movement flows almost seamlessly into the modern Black Lives Matter era. It's a portrait of a struggle that feels perpetually, and frustratingly, ongoing. NM. Whether you thought the first 50 Shades movie was so bad it's good camp, or you're actually a devoted fan of E.L. James's erotic novels, there's no way you're skipping this follow-up. As kinky young entrepreneur Christian Grey, Jamie Dornan, continuing to pursue his boardroom protege Anna Steele, Dakota Johnson. This time out, the S&M-obsessed lover boy concedes more control to his skittish gal pal, as the couple deals with his shady past and outside threats to his business. Expect more expensive-looking sets, semi-steamy sex, cornier than Iowa dialogue, and another underrated performance from the ever-likable Johnson. NM. Yeah, we were guessing he'd be back. Keanu Reeves returns as the dog-loving hitman in the sequel to the hyper-violent 2014 hit. This time, the gun fu master must takes on a squadron of assassins in Rome, including common and new boss-level badass with Ruby Rose, armed with only several dozen weapons and a new canine sidekick. As Lance Wright, ex-concierge character, says to Wick, "Good to see you again so soon." Indeed it is. KYK.